Hey, welcome to Fanatics Unite. This is Larry.
And this is Nick.
Alright, man. So today's show, I want to talk about Super Bowl last night. Talk about some comic book movie stuff for this year. Talk about the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman. And what else?
I don't know, man.
Anything else?
I think those are pretty solid topics for tonight.
Alright. Alright, well, let's get started. What did you think about Super Bowl last night?
Oh, my.
By the way, I just want to say this real quick. Because on the podcast, our last podcast, I predicted that Denver would blow out Seattle. I don't know if you noticed, but 2 hours before the game started, this documented proof, I posted on Facebook that I was changing my pick because I have a feeling Seattle's going to win. I didn't think they were going to do that, but I don't know if you saw that.
I saw it.
Documented online my change pick 2 hours before the game started.
So what made you have that drastic change?
Dude, I think it was more that I really wanted it to happen because I watched a good 3 hours of pregame stuff, like all the special stuff they do. And I don't know, man, there was just something about the Seattle vibe during the whole thing of that. I just really thought, I don't know, I had a feeling. I don't know, something just came over me.
I wanted them to win because honestly, well, they're one of the dynasties who hasn't had a Super Bowl win until yesterday.
Yeah.
So now they're up there, and now they finally got one of their rings. They can say Seattle is a Super Bowl winner.
Pete Carroll becomes the second coach ever to win both an NCAA championship and a Super Bowl. Jimmy Johnson's the other coach who did it with the Cowboys. And so I think I don't know. There was just so many other. If you ask me like why I would have wanted, what I would have wanted to see is like, Peyton Manning getting a Super Bowl or Pete Carroll getting a Super Bowl. Those are my two things. That's why I would have been happy either way. But a part of me was kind of happy to see that Seattle won, just because if you watch ESPN or any of those other sports stations during the week following, no coverage on Seattle. Almost none. All of it was on Peyton Manning and Denver, and it was just nice to see all those stations have to, eat crow on that one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it was. Even though I really thought Denver was going to win. I thought Payne was going to come out there, and even with the Seahawks as their defense was going to. I personally thought the San Francisco-Seattle game was more exciting than this actual Super Bowl. I think.
Yeah.
But I will give it was one of the best defenses I think I've ever seen in football. Like, it was just so good.
Dude, it was. It's funny too, like the start of the game, it couldn't have started better with Seattle. Getting a safety and then and then just getting a field goal out there. It was just bonus points for them because, you score off the safety on the very first play, right? Very first snap of the game, they get a safety. Then they get a field goal. And then they get the ball back first and second half after they were already up, 22-0 going to halftime? It couldn't have been better.
No, honestly, they couldn't. And then you got Peyton throwing that interception.
Which one?
We're talking about in the first half.
Yeah.
So there was two in the first half, right?
I think 2 or 3 at least.
No,
I can think
it wasn't
of 2.
3.
Then it was 2. No, I mean total throughout the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
I can think of 2. That one in the first half and the one where he got hit and threw the ball up and then they picked 6 them. So.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, dude, I like that Peyton Manning you could see, like, after that first interception, whenever they would show him on the sideline, he didn't seem like he got back in the game from then, shaking his head and just looked totally dejected, and I was just like, dude, this is how you beat Peyton Manning. You put him in the big situations, whether it be playoff games or Super Bowl, and as soon as he gets dejected, he cannot bounce back.
Really?
Peyton, dude, look at his history. I mean, he's now tied Brett Favre for most losses in playoffs. And, that goes hand in hand with greatness, too, because to have the most losses, you have to have gotten there a lot, which he did get there a lot. But, it is what it is, dude. Peyton Manning, I think, is going to be remembered. He's going to be remembered as great, but he's also going to be remembered as the guy who just couldn't get it done. Most of the time. He got a Super Bowl ring, but more often than not, he just couldn't get it done. And we were joking because when they showed him on the phone on the sideline the first half,
Amanda was talking to me earlier.
I was like, yeah, he's probably calling Eli right now, going, how do I win? I don't know.
Oh Eli, he didn't do anything this year, so...
No, but he does have one more ring than his brother.
Yeah. But no, man, that defense was awesome. Did you see, who's 29 on Seattle? That's, what's his name? Oh my god, it's driving me nuts.
Is that the guy who won the MVP, Super Bowl MVP?
No, I don't think he did get the MVP, but he was the one that they showed. He had hands on the ball at least 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one who caused the second interception where he got that little tip that put it up.
Yeah. Oh, the lineman guy. Yeah. Oh, I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of his damn name.
Yeah, I know exactly. I can't think of his name either. But he was on every play. Like they did not keep him out well at all. That line did not do it very good. That's why Peyton, I think, gave up. He was like, well, obviously they can't. The
line was pressuring him. The secondary wasn't giving him anything. He couldn't do anything during that game. But speaking of the defense, this is what I said. This is such an interesting debate too. I said all season long that if Seattle won the Super Bowl, that I would consider them the greatest single-season defense of all time. And the debate has been, who is the greatest single-season defense between the 85 Bears, the Ditka coach team that won the Super Bowl, or the Seattle team? Well, the Super Bowl did no justice to helping that, because Seattle won last night 43-8. The Bears in 85 beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl 46-10. Almost identical scores.
Wow.
So the Super Bowl did nothing to settle that debate last night. But it's interesting. I mean, I think we can easily decide, agree that those are the top 2, no matter where you place them.
Yeah,
It's the Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan debate, the George Carlin, Richard Pryor. You have different sects that can be considered number 1 or number 2 between either one.
So, like, points-wise, out of those 2 teams, if they're being argued as the best, like, who had scored the most points on defense for their season?
Oh, I don't. I actually do not know that stat off the top of my head.
Because, man, last night, now, out of the 48 points, at least 14 were from the defense, right? There was 2 touchdowns at least from interceptions. I'll just throw it out there. After the touchdown run back on the second quarter,
Percy Harving.
Yes, I was done. As soon as he did that, I was like, this game's done.
I wanted to see at that point, just so I could keep a vested interest in the game. I even started saying this. I was like, at this point, I just want to see him shut him out.
Oh, we found that out.
Yeah.
There's never been a shutout.
That's why I wanted to see it.
Yeah,
I just want to see him shut him out now.
Yeah. So they can go down in history. It's a team that got shut out.
Yeah. Dude, it would have been cool to see.
Oh, man.
But, dude, I mean, a lot of question marks, too, at following this. Seattle's going to bring back a lot of talent next year. They're not going to be able to hold on to a lot of defense talent over the next stretch of years because it's going to start costing you much money. But they have pretty much their entire defense back next year. 2 big question marks for me come from both sides of the ball and quarterback. Both teams with quarterback. Is Russell Wilson going to stay and come back next year? Or is he going to go play baseball like he said he would if they won? Uh-huh. And Peyton Manning, I watched his interview with Terry Bradshaw yesterday that they had done earlier last week. And, he asked him, are you going to retire after this year? And Peyton said he would love to come back and play, and he plans on it if, when he goes to the doctor, everything's okay. But he said if the doctor says there's any iota of a problem, one smidge, anything that could possibly be a negative, he will retire. Oh, but if it's 100% positive and the doctor says, you can play another 1-2 years, then he will come back. But, he said that. One problem, he and his family, he said he doesn't want to risk it. His family decided it's not worth it.
He has a dynasty.
He doesn't have anything to prove.
He has nothing. He could raise the next, league of, quarterbacks through their skills, so.
So did you get a chance to pay attention to any of the commercials?
Oh, not as much, but I actually want to go back to your quarterback thing about the other one.
Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson, that's what I meant to say. So I was reading an interesting article that talked about what's he going to do, and it talked about him doing the baseball thing and all that other stuff like that. But at the same time, they were talking about how every single quarterback in the last 4 years, like Tom Brady and all the greats, have gotten a $10 million contract almost immediately after winning the Super Bowl. Do you think the same thing's going to happen with that? Because Seattle doesn't have the money that those other teams had at that time.
I was talking to RJ last night about that, and the only problem with that is this. They might not have the money. They might have the cap because of how much they had to pay a lot of the other players to come back. So I don't know if they have the cap for it. But you know what, man? Here's what I'm saying if I'm Russell Wilson. You know, and obviously this is just me, an outside guy. I'm obviously not Russell Wilson. But Russell Wilson is only 25 years old. He's only 25 years old. I think I would at least stay 1 or 2 more years with this team. Because this Seattle team, they have to be the favorite to win it all again next year. They're not losing anything. And they're young. I mean, they already had an insanely difficult schedule this year. They're going to have the same thing next year.
I read in that same article, they said that Seattle has one of the youngest overall teams.
Yeah, they are. The average age is like 26.4 or something like that. Dude, stay 2 more years. 27 years old, you could still go and try to think of baseball. But you know what? If I have the chance to come back and win another Super Bowl or 2, I think I'd do it, man. He says he would like to do both, like Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson did. I don't think you can. I don't think you can at quarterback. You know, first of all, the game is so much more demanding now, not in a physical sense, but from a mental and preparation. Yeah. The way guys prepare now, I think, is on a higher level than when Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson were playing both Major League Baseball and in the NFL. And that's only because of the digital age and how much access you have to prepare and all that. You have more access to prepare than you have hours in a day. And quarterback is a position where you have to really prepare more than I'd say any other position. So to be able to play both like Russell Wilson wants to, I don't know if he's going to be able to. Not and be effective.
Yeah, you know? I most definitely agree with that.
Because he's also trying to be a pitcher. Deion and Bo weren't pitchers. So you're
trying to be a pitcher?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be very hard.
You want to do 2 of the hardest positions. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah, I think he should do one or the other until... if he wants to do baseball, decide whether you want to go another year and try to take a Super Bowl fame. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
You know, you bring up you brought up an interesting point about how the 49ers and Seattle game was better, you think, and I do too. But here's something that's interesting to me. I would like to see a reformat in the playoffs where it'll never happen because it's this way in every professional sport where it's East versus West, National League versus American League in baseball, NFC versus AFC. But I feel like when you do a side versus side, you're not necessarily always getting the 2 best teams in the championship.
Oh, that's
you know what I mean?
True.
Because like you said, 49ers and Seahawks game, it was better. They also division. They know each other better, so they know what to do better than what Denver would. But I would kind of like to see it just be a jumble, like a seedings jumble. And I wouldn't even mind seeing it that way in every sport. Not just necessarily football, but in every sport.
But how would you jumble it? So literally just be best records?
Yeah, and that's how you seed it.
Yeah.
I think that would be an awesome...
You think they're going partially for rivalries and stuff like that? Maybe is that why you think?
I think it's probably rivalries, and I don't know. It's something to do with finance. It all comes down to money. Here's an interesting stat I just looked up. It was in June 8th of this year. Russell Wilson threw a first pitch at a baseball game. You know, they always have a celebrity do it. His first pitch was 98 miles an hour.
Holy crap. There's probably a catcher would probably like, he doesn't. Oh my god!
Yeah. So, dude, and you know everything that I heard, like, I followed Russell Wilson as a football player when he played in college because he played at North Carolina State and then he transferred to Wisconsin. But apparently, they say he was a better baseball player than he was a football player. But baseball, in my opinion, is the hardest professional sport, American professional sport, to get into because you have to go. Not every guy has to go through all the leagues, but there's 3 levels of minor league, and there's even more than that. There's the sub leagues that you got to go through, but there's 3 levels of minor league, single A, double A, triple A, and then you just have to go through so much to make it to the bigs. But, the NBA, you pretty much go straight in. If you're not making it there, they send you the D-League. Not a lot of guys make the jump from D-League up. Some guys do. Some guys have been successful. Hockey has a minor league. I think other than baseball, I'd say hockey uses their minor league. But there really is no minor league for football, so it's called college football, yeah, I guess. But
even that, some people are bigger into college football than they are into NFL football.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it's interesting. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a reformat. Won't happen, but I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Alright, so commercials.
Did you see any?
I saw some of them. The only one I was like almost going to text you, but I was like, we'll just wait until Monday.
Okay.
The Seinfeld one.
Seinfeld one was great. That was rated the best one.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Seinfeld one. I did like the Full House one, too, with the yogurt.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, you gotta watch that one. My favorite one, I don't know if you saw it, was the crossbreed of the Doberman Pinscher.
I saw it before the Super Bowl. I actually ran across.
See, I purposely didn't watch any of
this.
It was a YouTube ad thing.
Yeah, something like that.
But the part that won me over for that and made me love it so much was the Sarah McLachlan part.
Yes.
That's what made me fucking love it. Oh.
So on Reddit today, they had that little dog, and they're like, the comment was, "This is the only thing I ever see," and it was that dog, and then it was the mask when the mask was on the dog, or whatever. They're like, "This is all I thought about."
I love the commentators of the commercial. They're like, "It's disturbing when it looks right at you." But yeah, I loved that commercial. What other ones did I like? I thought the Bud Light one was cool with Arnold and Don Cheadle. That was the one they kept building up. The Doritos Time Machine one was awesome.
God, I missed a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know if any really stuck out. I did like the Jaguar one with the British villains. Yeah. Tom Hiddleston, Mark Strong, and Bing Kingsley. Oh, sorry, Sir Bing Kingsley. Sorry. But, yeah, man. I'll tell you this much. I thought the commercials this year were some of the weakest Super Bowl commercials I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Maybe it's just because they've come so much more overhyped. I mean, they've come so overhyped.
Yeah, exactly.
But, dude, yeah, they were kind of weak this year.
Yeah.
Did you see the insurance thing they did right after? It was the first ad after the Super Bowl was over. No. Where you had until 1 a.m. To tweet hashtag #eSuranceSave30, and they were going to pick somebody, and that they were going to win $1.5 million. Because that's how much they saved by doing their ad right after the Super Bowl. Yeah, this year, the highest year ever, 30-second spot, $5 million. $5 million.
Maybe that's why they don't have enough money for creativity anymore.
Man, dude, that's insane. Yeah, I thought that was cool. You got anything else on the Super Bowl?
On the Super Bowl?
Or anything?
No, I mean, I literally, I got there slightly late. I missed kickoff, so I actually missed the first 5 points of the game. Okay. I was actually very upset. I was like 5-0. I was like, how did this shit happen? and then after I watched the kickoff for the touchdown, which they got them 29. Yeah, 29. And then once they got that pick, I was like, this game's done.
It was over pretty quick.
Yeah, it was disgusting. Only reason I would even contemplate, if it wasn't for the fact that I'd drive someone really far home, I wouldn't have done it.
Where were you?
I was at Leeson and Gales. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I brought my friend Liz over, so yeah, but,
sweet, man.
Yeah, no, it was really good. We had a good time. How was yours?
It was cool. We just chilled out, man.
Did you guys all freak out? Was there Denver fans in your house going
No. I think Liz wanted them to win.
Oh, Klein came over?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so I want to talk about this too.
All right.
You've already heard this, but I'll say it on here. Okay. I was very happy this year when I read the guys who were getting inducted in the Football Hall of Fame, particularly for one guy. But this is one I want to do this. I've already done this here, and I've done this to many people. So anybody listening to this is my argument for anyone who wants to argue against this guy getting in. Okay, I want to read you stats. Let's pretend you don't know who I'm talking about, and I'm trying to argue that this person, Sir X, we'll call him. I'm trying to argue that this guy should be in the Hall of Fame. If I read you these stats, I want you to tell me that this person, your argument that this person should not be in the NFL Hall of Fame. The only player at this position to ever get drafted in the first round. He is in the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, was elected to the 1970s All-Decade Team, was elected to the 75th Anniversary All-Time Team for football, won the PFW Golden Toe Award, 3-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time second team All-Pro selection, 6-time first team All-Pro selection, and 7-time Pro Bowl selection. And let's not forget to mention, they have an award that they give to the players at this position named after this guy. And it's Ray Guy. Ray Guy. The only punter to ever get elected in the Hall of Fame, and probably will be the only punter to ever get elected in the Hall of Fame. And a lot of people's problem is, it's a punter. Punter shouldn't get in. But you tell me with those statistics, and those things, that this guy should not be in. And, not to mention the fact that John Madden, when he was coaching the Oakland Raiders team that Ray Guy played on, talked all the time, openly, at the time, how this guy won them so many games. Because he was able to coffin nail it right in the corner, give them great position on defense, which would turn into points on offense. I mean, I don't care what position you are for any sport. I mean, if there is a position that exists, it should be considered the greatest at those positions to get into the Hall of Fame, because that's what it is. You cannot rate a punter and compare him to every other position and go, well, you know, he is just a punter. Because in that fact, why have the position? If he is the greatest punter of all time, which he clearly is from his statistics, if you're the greatest at all time at your position, there should be no debate. Yeah. Why have a position if you're not going to respect it?
Oh, yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Actually, it's a perfect example that people might give more respect for. Deion Sanders. When Deion Sanders used to get punt returns or kickoff returns, they literally would kick it out of bounds on purpose and just take the less yards.
McCluster, too.
Yeah. To just be like, screw it. We don't want him to touch the ball, because if he touches the ball, there's a high probability of him just running it back for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So they would just kick it out. So they would take the loss in yards to try to do that. So I completely agree with you. If I can punt it so perfectly that puts them in the pressure zone, like if I can land it on the 1-yard line every single time if I had a punt, and puts them in possible safety position all the time, they're going to be worried about that. They're going to be like, all right, I have to make sure I get this out of here and do shorter passes and stuff. I completely agree with you. So.
You don't become a 7-time Pro Bowler alone unless you are doing something amazing, okay?
I would like to throw it out there. How many people have actually been 7-time Pro Bowlers?
Exactly. Not many.
And
I tell you, all the ones who have are in the Hall of Fame, or when they are able to, will probably be first ballot Hall of Famers.
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah,
good for him. I'm glad. I'm glad that he will be right now. Well, right now he is the only punter in the Hall of Fame. But for years to come, he might be still the only one in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. I like it. So, what else? Where are we at here? Anything else on sports I want to talk about? Or you?
On sports? No, man. I'm pretty set up. March Madness is around the corner.
Oh, man, I can't wait for that. Yeah. I'm going to win the billion this year.
You're not winning the billion.
I need to win the billion.
So, I was talking to Mongo about that. They said that ESPN has been offering something like that, like a million or something.
No, ESPN offers $10,000 for the best bracket. Other contests offer $1 million. The highest I'd ever seen was when I was in high school. I forget who did it, but one company offered $10 million. Yeah. Nobody's even come close to offering. Let me tell you something. You just look outside of a sports contest. There's never been any contest that I've ever heard of for anything that has offered $1 billion to winner. Not even the lottery has offered $1 billion to the winner. So
obviously the odds of getting
insanely high. No one's ever done it. There's never been a documented case of it. There's been people who have claimed they've done it, but never a entered bracket
Yeah.
The best I've ever seen was one guy one year got like 3 or 4 games wrong, which is still, I mean, that's a huge pat on the back, dude. But yeah, $1 billion for it, and then the top 20 win $100,000, and it's through Quicken Loans, you know, their mortgage and loan company for houses. So the top 20 will get $100,000 towards buying a home, which is still not too sure. I'd love to win that too because I want to buy a house. So yeah. You guys like comics, comic book world? I'm going to start off our comic book talk by talking about how upset I am that Jesse Eisenberg was selected to play Lex Luthor. Now, that being said, I'm not upset so much because I'm not going to say I'm upset because it's necessarily Jesse Eisenberg playing him. It's because I wanted 2 other guys very much, one of those 2 to be selected. I was more upset that one of those weren't selected, and I learned after the Heath Ledger rant and debacle I went on after Dark Knight to not judge an actor's performance on a movie we haven't got to see yet.
Alright, so what Larry's really trying to say is that he sees Jesse Eisenberg as a decent actor, but when you look...
Actually, I don't.
Oh, dude, not really.
No, I think Jesse Eisenberg is just an okay actor.
Alright, okay.
But I thought the same thing about Heath Ledger before I saw The Dark Knight. So.
But his biggest complaint is if you took Jesse Eisenberg and you slapped him right next to a picture of Lex Luthor, he just doesn't see
nothing.
He sees nothing.
At least
it's like compatibility. Whoever was there was blind that day. Oh, you look just like Lex.
I don't know who was worse from a physical appearance standpoint to play Lex Luthor between Jesse Eisenberg or Gene Hackman when Gene Hackman played Lex Luthor in the very first Superman. Both of them look nothing like him. But you know what? I mean, there's been a lot of those. You know, when Halle Berry played Catwoman, doesn't look like Catwoman from the comics. Nick Fury in the comics is white. Obviously, Samuel L. Jackson's black. But actually, I love Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury because they did change Nick Fury to looking just like Samuel L. Jackson's character when they did the newer Avengers comic. So Nick Fury did become black. But I mean, the race stuff doesn't bother me. Like, I don't care when they do that for comic books and stuff like that, because it's a different universe. When you introduce a new universe or a new concept, they change characters around. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is just I don't see it from a physical or acting standpoint. And I'll just say this real quick. My 2 actors, I either wanted to see Stanley Tucci Lex Luthor, or my number 1 pick was Mark Strong. I think one of those 2 would have been amazing. Plus, the thing with Jesse Eisenberg, too, is he's too young.
Yeah.
He's too young to be Lex Luthor. You have to have a guy in his middle age play Lex Luthor. And you can't even do the whole, well, we're starting from a young Lex Luthor standpoint if you're going to run this Batman vs. Superman off of the first, the Man of Steel movie. Because in Man of Steel, one of the Easter eggs we see is on the side of the truck, it said LexCorp. We already know that LexCorp is an established corporation. Lex Luthor didn't do that when he was young. So, no. I don't know. I don't know, man. We'll see. It's driving me crazy. Oh, man. But, that's next year. What we want to talk about is our prediction for what we think will be, in order, our favorite to least favorite comic book movies that are coming out this year.
Can we do favorite to least favorite, and then...
You can do whatever you want. I'll say my favorite.
I want to put surprises in there, because...
Surprises?
Yeah, there's a couple in there that I don't think are going to do that well, or I don't think they're going to, but they're going to be surprisingly good.
Surprising. I also want to talk about the one you're most anticipated for.
Alright. Yeah, that might be a...
Let's do most anticipated first.
You want to do most anticipated?
We'll do most anticipated, and I could care less.
Alright. So we're going to go from energy levels to what...
Yeah.
So it's almost like what we personally think is going to be good and bad, and then what we think in general is going to be good and bad.
Sure.
So... Alright. So let's see.
We have 6 comic book movies coming out this year.
All right. So are we doing this whole entire? We just
7.
Let's order them for the second one. I want to just do what I think is going to be really good and what I think is going to be really bad. All right. Really, really good. I think surprisingly good is going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy.
And that is my most anticipated.
Yeah, I think that's my most anticipated because I know nothing about it, and I've talked to a couple of my friends about it, and they're like, it's so far-fetched, people are not going to, they're going to be like, who are these people and everything, But I think because of the cast that they found for it, and because of what they did with Avengers, I think the action's going to be there for it, and so you're not going to care. You're going to enjoy every moment. You're going to be entranced, almost like Avengers was, like just the whole entire movie. Least favorite? Oh my god. I think I might need to like that list again. It's between Godzilla and one of the other ones.
Probably Transformers.
Transformers. Dude, alright, was Wahlberg always in the show?
No.
This is brand new.
Yeah,
so,
brand new.
So somehow Shia LaBeouf got taken out, and now Wahlberg is playing around with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man, people were screaming about Dinobots, man, during that preview.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh my god, that's not what Dinobots are supposed to look like.
Dude, yeah, it's just gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Dude. It's gonna be bad.
I don't know. Part of me says Godzilla's not gonna be good. I mean, like it's like no one's, but at the same time, no one's ever done a really, really good Godzilla. I thought the Matthew Broderick one was okay, but I mean, I still don't think it was.
This one might be alright.
You think so?
I'm gonna wait to see what it's like. What about Planet of the Apes? Did you see James Franco's Planet of the Apes?
No, I didn't actually see that one.
It was good for an intro movie. Like, I mean, it wasn't action packed or any of that. It was just basically how Caesar became Caesar.
Yeah.
So it was a good intro movie. I didn't think it was bad. The Dawn of the Planet of the Apes should be alright. And what about Captain?
So Captain is one that from what I've seen in the preview, like I didn't watch the newest preview.
Newest preview today is much better.
Is it?
Yeah, I love
the second one gave a good idea of what's going on with this thing. If I remember right, it's him questioning like S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's basically the same old, like, is the agency that's supposed to be protecting the U.S.'s best interest for protection.
Yeah. So I think storyline-wise, that's going to be a really, really good story. I think people are going to really enjoy that one. And just having S.H.I.E.L.D. involved in it, so I think it's going to be really good. But, and then what was the other huge one that we were talking about?
X-Men?
Oh, yeah, Days of
Spider-Man. Didn't talk about Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, Spider-Man. The Spider-Man movie is going to be good. I think, if I had to put it in order, I think Captain America is going to be the best out of that. Guardians of the Galaxy, I think, will be second.
Number 2.
I'm going to go with... No, I'm sorry. Reorder those.
Okay.
Let's go... I'm still saying 1 is going to be Captain America.
Okay.
X-Men number 2.
Okay.
Then Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Then Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're getting into the awful ones. Dude, so I just... Between Transformers, Godzilla, and there was one more.
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes will be better than those two. I think there was one other one you listed, I thought.
No, I didn't.
No, well, alright.
Was it? Oh, Spider-Man.
No.
Did you say Spider-Man?
Yeah, I said Spider-Man. Yeah, I think for loser position, it's gonna be a fight between the Autobots and it's gonna be between the Autobots and Godzilla. So
that's you.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that like even though I put Guardian of the Galaxy lower to the bottom, and I strictly only say that because it's no people really know these characters at all.
That doesn't always mean that it's necessarily going to be a bad movie.
No, that's what I'm saying. I actually think it's going to be... I think people are going to be really surprised. Like, they're going to go into it, and then they're going to be like, wow, that was really, really good. And I'm hoping so, because it sounds really good. But X-Men, yeah, no, I'm excited about X-Men. I can't wait until the new X-Men movie. All the previews just scream really good to me. I don't think it's going to be better than Captain America or... but I think that one's going to be great.
Alright, so my order from least to greatest. What I think will be the best to the worst. First of all, the ones I will see probably all these movies.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the ones I actually care about. Captain America.
Alright.
X-Men.
Uh-huh.
Planet of the Apes, only because I did like the first one, and Guardians of the Galaxy. The other ones I don't really care about. The Spider-Man, the first one they did with, what's his name playing him, this new guy. It was alright, but it just wasn't that great. Okay, from greatest to least, I think X-Men Days of Futures Past will be the best movie.
Alright.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy will be your second. Planet of the Apes will be your third. I think Captain America will be fourth. Spider-Man will be fifth. Godzilla will be sixth. And Transformers is going to be seventh.
Dead last.
Yeah. Their prediction, this article I'm reading, predicts how much they think each one will make.
Mm-hmm.
They predict that Transformers will be the highest grossing out of all of them, making a worldwide of $1 billion.
What?
Yep. That's their prediction.
Alright, you know what? Normally I would argue with you about this, but I actually wouldn't be terribly surprised.
I wouldn't either.
Look at Pirates of the Caribbean, the last one.
Oh, yeah.
That one, personally, to me, was not my favorite at all. I thought it was probably one of my least favorite. It was very odd, it was very off topic, and it had like nothing to do with any of the previous ones, besides Captain Jack Sparrow being in the game again. And that one did make did it break the $1 billion mark? It did.
Yeah.
It actually was. It's in the top 10 of highest grossing movies
Probably,
of all time right now.
Yeah.
So it actually doesn't surprise me one bit if it did make $1 billion, just because, especially if they're going worldwide with it. If they're going like how Pirates was. Pirates was in every country, over the world.
Well, I will tell you right now, and this is documented, so you know, Spider-Man will be the highest grossing film out of all this.
Really?
Because Spider-Man is the most recognizable superhero in the world. In the whole world, Spider-Man is the most recognizable. Spider-Man will be the highest grossing. I guarantee it. And yes, I think it will crack $1 billion. I actually do not think Transformers will crack $1 billion. And if I had to really think what I think would be the second, Godzilla is pretty big worldwide. But I'm telling you, Spider-Man is going to be the highest grossing out of all those movies. Yarp. By the way, I'm going to give IGN a plug here just because I do love them, and you said something that made me think of them. So IGN has some great videos on YouTube right now, and it's basically talking about all the DC and Marvel movies that have come out last couple of years and that are coming out. And they're basically intro videos for people who don't know, they explain who Thanos is. And there's a 5-minute video called Who Are the Guardians of the Galaxy? Ooh. It's pretty cool. You should watch it. It gives a really good synopsis. They did Who is the Winter Soldier for Captain America. It's basically just giving you a history of the comics and who these people are and their origins and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So, yeah, man. What else we have on today? What else on our docket?
Your actor.
Philip Seymour Hoffman shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So Philip Seymour Hoffman dies of a heroin overdose. Apparently, from what I understand from today, he had been clean for 20 years. 20-year relapse and died.
Alright, so someone told me, jokingly, they were like, I think someone planted all this stuff and so he was assassinated.
But why?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they wanted his part in the next movie.
Yeah, why plant it as last night?
They wanted to be the new Hunger Games guy, the Game Master. Maybe they took the Game Master seriously and they were like...
Yeah, so Philip Seymour Hoffman has been in so many movies.
Can you name off some movies?
Name off some movies that he's been in that have been big.
Let's start from the newest stuff, because he was in the Hunger Games.
The newest? I was going to start from the latest stuff, because those are some better movies.
Oh, you want to go with his lot?
Let's see. He was in Twister, Boogie Nights, The Big Lebowski.
Oh, what was he in Big Lebowski?
He was the butler for the rich guy.
Oh, you're right. Who was played by guy from Roseanne. Why am I going blank on his name?
Oh, well, Dan Aykroyd was in it, but he played...
No, I thought it was not Dan Aykroyd from Roseanne.
I mean, not Dan Aykroyd. John Goodman.
John Goodman.
Yeah, John Goodman was in it, but he wasn't the rich guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why I called John Goodman Dan Aykroyd.
I thought John... Oh, no, not John Goodman. Who was that rich guy?
I don't know, some old guy. I don't know who the hell it is. Oh. He's in Talented Mr. Ripley, Almost Famous, Punch Drunk Love, Cold Mountain.
He was in Punch Drunk Love?
Yeah, I never saw Punch Drunk Love, though. My favorite role of Philip Seymour Hoffman's ever was this next one. I loved him as Sandy Lyle in Along Came Polly. He was in Capote. I think he won his Oscar for Capote. Mission Impossible, Savages. He's been in Pirate Radio, the Hunger Games movies. He's been in so many movies, man. But yeah, sad. Yeah. Sad, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So who was the other big person that passed away? Because remember, celebrities go in threes usually.
Oh yeah, Paul Walker died, then Peter O'Toole died. Yeah. Peter O'Toole's old, though. You know, not surprised. But Paul Walker was a big shock, yeah. Yep. Well, man, you got anything else for today?
I don't know. The day after the Super Bowl, it's what season are we in now? So we got hockey to look forward to.
End of the NBA, end of college basketball. There's still a lot of good sports left right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna attempt to submit this to iTunes. We don't know if we're gonna get accepted or not.
Yeah.
But even if we don't, we will prevail.
Yeah. iTunes reviewer, please do not shut us down.
Don't shut us down.
Don't shut us down.
Peace.
Peace.